So let's talk Gen 4.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, Toby's tech time. What do you think? Because obviously, I've gone on the record and saying that I'm not sure this was 100% the right way. In terms of speed, is it too much speed? Should we be focusing on other areas? But then I've forgot my even argument of slick tires for the Gen 3 Evo car, so that would make it slightly faster compared to the lap times that we're comparing the other racing series to. But this is a significant shift. All-wheel drive, their 600 kilowatt, 700 kilowatt regen, active aero, basically a low downforce, high downforce. And what do you know? What can you tell us in terms of the Gen 4 regulations and how it could work in a couple of years' time?
Yeah. As always, it depends. We have two different packages regarding aerodynamics, and it depends on how Formula E wants to use it. One possible solution is they use the high downforce during qualifying with the 600 kilowatts of power.
Yep.
And in the race, they will use the low downforce one because they want to have longer races, about an hour or something like that. And this is not possible with the high downforce package because higher downforce means higher energy consumption.
Yep.
So even if the battery will have a bigger capacity, it will not be possible to race more than an hour with a higher downforce package and that much power.
Yep.
One possible other solution could be that they reduce the power in the races.
Yep.
So that they are using just 400 kilowatts of power during the race, for example, and something like attack mode with 500 kilowatts of power, something like that, possibly. But it depends how they want to do it. Another thing I heard some while ago was that Formula E is planning to introduce sprint races during a doubleheader. So at the moment we have a doubleheader with pit boost and one race without pit boost. So it could be a possible solution that they are doing high downforce sprint races, about 25 to 30 minutes, with a high downforce package on one day, and on the other day the low downforce package with a race about 70 minutes, 75 minutes, something like that.
Ooh.
It depends. These are the options they have on the table, and I don't know which ones they prefer, but these are solutions that are possible.
What scares me from the sprint race option, right? Now, you said there 25 minutes to 30 minutes of, running. I know people 9 times out of 10 pay for both days as a fan, but if you only pay for one day and you came for the sprint, is that what you're paying for? So because I feel like a race which is you only come for one day and the race is 25 minutes seems a bit, and when the other race is 75 minutes is a bit, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure, it depends. Possibly.
That's my only problem I see with it. The fact that we're going for 70-75 minutes sounds perfect to me. This is what we've been crying out for a long time. And it also, puts the range ideas that we've had, that even... I think if we could do a 45-minute race or a 40-minute race with the high downforce package on a Saturday and then a 75-minute race, I think that, to me, I'm cool with that, because that's what a traditional Formula E race looked like. But I'm just worried if it was a 25-minute race, it seems like
for sure. But high downforce races only make sense if you use the full amount of power.
Okay.
From my point of view, it doesn't make sense to have high downforce and just use 400 kilowatts of power.
Yep.
It's possible, of course, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't show the performance of the cars. That's what they want to do. They want to show the performance of the electric cars with a high downforce package. And this only makes sense when using the maximum amount of energy.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted.
Possible.
When you said there, an idea of racing at 400 kilowatts and then having, I thought, does that go against? That was literally the question I had. Does that go against Formula E's idea of this series already? Because we're supposed to show how fast these cars are, but then we're cutting them to just a little bit faster than what the Gen 3 Evo car was.
Possibly, but I think when all those comparisons to F2 were made, they were only talking about qualifying lap times.
Yep. Not
and I think yes, absolutely, and I think that's what Formula E want to show, that the cars in qualifying are able to do F2 lap times in Monaco.
Yep.
And to be honest, there's a point I have to add.
Yep.
A German colleague of mine, Robert Seiwert from Motorsport magazine, was talking to Jeff Dodds in Shanghai.
Yep.
And Jeff Dodds announced that Formula E is planning to introduce slick tires in Gen 4, but not in season 13, in season in season 15, in the second cycle of Gen 4, to show the whole performance of the Gen 4 car. Sustainability is not such a big topic now. They have made so many things regarding sustainability that they are able to use two different sets of tires. So we will see slick tires, but unfortunately it will take some time, I think.
Of course, because obviously
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, but that makes sense though, because Bridgestone haven't been told to make a slick tire at this point, or design a slick tire for Formula E. So therefore, it would have to they'd have to be told and have enough time to prepare it. So for the and that would be for Gen 4 Evo, right? Effectively, if there is going to be a Gen 4 Evo.
I think so, yeah.
So if there's a Gen 4, so for the Gen 4 Evo, then which you'd expect maybe another step somewhere along the lines, or maybe seeing how Gen 4 goes. And
they have to.
So